And Keita Ogawa. What's up, Keita?
What's up, Matan? Long time.
Man,
Man,
it's too long.
too
Too
long, right?
long.
I mean, like, I don't even remember last time we saw like in a person, right? I guess.
I think it was I think it was Brooklyn right before I moved out. I think we
Oh,
had
was it?
something with Hagai. I don't
No.
remember though.
When did
I
you? When
just
did you? When did you move?
man, it was a long time ago. It was 2011, summer of 2011.
Oh wow, so almost decade. I feel like a more than decade somehow. It's like,
Yeah,
right?
man,
Too much things going on.
so much things. Yeah, I went to Israel and brought babies, and you stayed in the States and brought a Grammy, motherfucker.
I mean,
And
you know, yeah, yeah.
so, so where are you these days? You in Brooklyn?
Mhm. Yeah, Brooklyn, New York. Yeah, whole time. I mean, during from beginning of the lockdown, I didn't leave.
You didn't go. You didn't want to go to your family in Japan or anything
No, I
like
mean,
that.
it was kind of tricky time because I was waiting for my green card. You know,
Did
so
you
I
get
can't.
it?
I got it. Yeah, I got it. But I couldn't.
Woo.
I couldn't go out of the states at that moment. And also I think that Japan started the corona. I think spreads out before the U.S. So it was tricky time to go back to Japan. Anyway. So I just decided to stay home. Yeah.
Man, I have a question that's so irrelevant, but I have to ask you because, yeah, man, you're from Japan. And it's like and I don't know, Japan do the mask thing also like China and Thailand, or you don't do the mask thing?
No, actually, the mask thing is we wear mask every winter. I don't know if you've been in Japan in the winter time, but like, if you go to Japan in the winter, you see so many people just wearing the mask every year. I mean, that's it. It's a culture thing. So it's not nothing new. To wearing the mask.
It's just not to transit infectious diseases. That's why you do the mask.
Well, I think people, I think before the COVID, people think wearing the mask is protecting the virus, any flu, or because like every winter you get the flu, some kind of flu, every year. So I think people are starting wear the mask when it gets cold in the winter and to protect from the virus. But I guess after the corona, people think the wearing the mask is also good for not getting the virus, also not spreading the virus, right? I guess that's the idea. So I think the more people trying to buy a mask at the beginning in Japan, and it was also kind of hard to all sold out anywhere anyway. But
Was
yeah, I mean, but wearing the mask is it's nothing new for us. We always also the people like to clean. Always like at the public places, kind of super clean. Subway, everything was. They wanted to keep it clean all the time. So yeah, yeah.
and nobody hugs and kisses
Not
like
not
we
like here.
Israeli do.
Right, right. Or other country. Right, right. Exactly. Yeah. People. I mean, so many people. It's so dense, especially in Tokyo. But still, people trying to keep distance. And also that's a cultural thing. We don't really hug or kiss. To the people, other people. Unless you're a couple or something.
Man, I loved hugging you.
What?
I loved hugging you, man. Every time we met, I hugged you.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I like it. Oh, of course, it's kind of strange though.
Was it
Uh,
weird when you came to the States and everybody's like just hugging?
no,
Or
it was actually that was okay. I mean, I like it. And then I think it's kind of natural things in it, being a human. We need some contact, physical contact with the people, and make you, really kind of comfortable. I mean, even I grew up in Japan, that doesn't have kind of cultural thing, hugging and kissing. And but the weird thing is, I really like it, the physical contact, the hugging my friends, and and then when I go back to Japan, it's kind of weird. I feel like a little bit, like hey, what's up, man? Like we don't hug much, I mean, kind of strange to even like I hug like a close friends, but the weirdest thing is like hugging to the you know female. If I
Mm.
have like the female friends, and then like they're kind of sometimes defend it, like what are you doing?
What are you doing? Yeah, yeah.
It's like, oh, sorry,
Man, and there's also another thing that I noticed when I was in Boston and then New York and all the hangs with the Japanese. It's like,
yeah,
man, Japan has a crazy culture of work ethic, right?
yeah, yeah,
People,
yeah.
I've sensed it mostly from my Japanese friends and South Korean. It's like, man, you guys go and work your ass off like
Yeah,
nobody's business. I mean, I've
I,
never seen anything like that.
yeah,
Were you brought up like that?
yeah. I think that's like also that's how we uh you know grew up, and all, all my like I think from my grandparents, or even more, great grandparents, they used to be like that. And also that's like a Japanese cultural things, or maybe South Korean too. Like working hard is a beautiful thing. That's what the people, uh you know the how that's how they grew up, and so
So when you started, when you were a kid and you went to school, it was like a lot of studies, a lot of homework, and it's what is expected from you, right?
I think so, yeah. And also, there's some quotes in Japan. If you don't work, you can't eat. You can't eat,
What
or
do you mean?
if you don't work, if you don't work, no food. That mean it means like
There's no like social security stuff like that.
no, like no food, no work. Does it make sense?
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, so like if you wanted to live, or if you wanted to live, have a good life, or if you wanted to make some money, you have to work hard. There's no kind of the way to think, to make a money without hard working. You know,
yeah. But
so that's
also,
the kind of yeah.
yeah, but also all the guys, as far as music, not even, I don't know, it's probably it has to do something with money, but even when I was in Berkeley and in New York, and it was, man, always prepared, always on it,
Mm,
like always on time, always with
right,
the right gear, with the right gadget. I know I'm making a generalization here, but
right, right,
but
right. I
it's
mean, yeah,
it's something that you feel from if you see everybody like that, you're like, what the fuck is
that's a
going on?
Japanese. Yeah, that's a Japanese thing. I think that's how we train. Since we're a child, and then also that's how we saw the older people, or adults. Everybody pretty much kind of like that, and then organized, and that's how we've been told. When we were school, if you, for example, if you have some meeting 10 a.m., you have to be there at least 5 minutes before. You have to be there. That's kind of thing. And then being late is bad thing. And yeah, that I mean those things. That's how been told us. And yeah, working hard, organized, and prepared, and yeah, and not be lazy. You know, so I mean, it's good thing actually, good thing also, but that's too much. See, like I kind of realize, oh, that's too much, because that's
A
a
lot of stress.
stress and pressure, and no space for the relax. So yeah,
Yeah, I keep thinking, man, the more time goes by, I think that balance is like is like a boat, like rowing
Yeah.
a boat. You know, it's not
Mm-hmm.
flat line. Is kind of like when you're in balance, perfect balance, flat line. It's like death. You know, you're like
Mm-hmm.
dead, dude.
Yeah.
But when you kind of row the boat,
Mm-hmm.
right, left, right, left, that's how you get sort of a balance. You know, you need to chill,
Yeah.
you need to work out. But tell me, when you were, when did you start playing
Music.
music?
I started playing music. I was 14. I started
And
playing drums.
drums?
Yeah.
And immediately when you play, it's like, oh, all right, Keita, you want to play the drums, you go practice 3 hours a day, or is it just like, yeah, have
Oh,
fun?
yeah. It was just having fun. I just wanted to. I was just curious. Playing the drums, playing music. My friends start playing like a rock band. So I just joined with them and start playing drums. And no, I wasn't just I wasn't like practice like 8 hours a day or something. I wasn't too serious. But yeah, but like first I live um, performance I did like right after the high graduation, like a middle school graduated, and we had like a live performance in front of our friends, and that was like right after that I kind of decided, okay, I'm gonna do the music for the rest of my life. That's what I decided because it was too really fun and yeah, something I feel like okay, this is it. you know I felt like I found it.
And then you keep working hard and you decide to go, you decide on going to the US, or you're still thinking maybe I stay in Japan?
I yeah, I think during the high school I start playing the live house, and owner, she was kind of old, but like she gave me so much advice, all the time. And so then she told me about the Berkeley at the time. And so if you were serious and you wanted the music, you might want to consider to go to the music school. And there's the school in Boston, America. Check it out. So I kind of start research. The Berkeley. Yeah.
And you came to Berkeley. I don't think we ever met there. I think I only met you in New York with Hagai, right?
Really? I think I remember. I remember you in Boston.
Wait, no, we played in Canada, and then we were both in Boston still.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true though. But like I remember you were there because I've seen
Okay,
you. Yeah, I've seen you playing with Hagai and Nadav and all those
right,
guys
right,
in the
right.
Berkeley time. And yeah, I know. I remember you were. When I was there, you were there. Yeah, we
And
did.
then
Yeah.
and then you graduate Berkeley and you do the natural thing. You go to New York.
Right. Yeah, I stick
But
around like Boston for like 6 months and then move to New York. Yeah.
but what time did you switch from drum set to percussion?
From beginning of Berkeley. So I actually before the Berkeley, I went to the music college in Japan for 2 years, which uh, kind of like connected to Berkeley. So after high school, I went to the music college for 2 years. I studied like a jazz drums, and then I was thinking to come to the Berkeley. I got the scholarship, but then I didn't want it to go at that time. By the time I graduated, because just like so many people, just naturally after this college went to the Berkeley. All my friends. So I was like, wait a minute, am I doing like is the same shit that everybody does? And it's kind of this is kind of like damn. I kind of stopped thinking going to Berkeley at the moment, and I met I met my mentor. She was a percussion player, professional percussion player. I We did like a double bill shows, and then I saw her playing, and it was shocked. So I was like, oh shit, and so I contacted her right after the show we play, and she was looking for roadie, the kind
Mm.
of, the people helping, carrying, driving, setting up, and this kind of stuff. So I was like, okay, maybe I can do that roadie to have experience and hanging with her, to see the scene. I was living in Kobe at that moment. Uh, then I moved to Tokyo to do roadie of her, for I think it was over years, 1 year.
Oh, wow.
So I went to the Tokyo. But she was so busy, and so I was just next day I moved. I mean, it was a really
Wow.
quick decision. So I met her. I mean, I contacted her, and she was like, okay, so yeah. So when I go to like Kobe, Osaka area, I call you to help my stuff. And then so she told me. Then I was like, no, I wanted to go Tokyo, Tokyo to work with you. And then she was surprised. She was surprised, and so then after that, I just went to Tokyo to find a place to live, apartment, and I decided and moved. And next day I started working with her, driving, setting up, and stuff
And
like
you
that.
traveled all through Japan with her?
Uh, not yeah, sometimes but I pretty much drive her car around the Tokyo area. Sometimes she asked me to come on a tour together. Yeah, so yeah, I was with her all the time actually, and saw her, the gigs and shows and every day pretty much. It was a good experience.
And then it made you want to play percussion, or?
Yeah, it was like then it was kind of completely new world for me, because I was playing drum set, but I was curious about percussion too, hand percussion, and she was doing more kind of Brazilian stuff and some other experimental stuff, and also some kind of contemporary classical stuff. So then I saw so many like like top Japanese musicians, at the time, and I start talking to them, ask some stuff, and they were told me some experience. And some people study, in the States or Europe, and came back to Japan, and they kind of start realize, okay, there's kind of two type of people I noticed at that time. So there's like the people already studied out of Japan, and then came back in Japan, came back and then start building the career. And also there's another one who never went to the outside of Japan and just stay playing the music in Japan all the time. And I kind of noticed difference, and I kind of like it, the people who studied outside of Japan, because like there's a little more open. I feel like a open mind. Also, the playing wise a little bit different. So I kind of uh, restart thinking going to US again.
Do you feel it's a little bit different these days? Like when you see Japanese musicians that don't leave and still stay only in Japan,
Mm-hmm.
you feel probably the level went way higher than
Oh,
what it used to
way
be,
higher.
right?
Yeah, definitely way higher, because I think past 15 years, more people came in the States and then go back. So these younger people had lots of influence from, our generation or a little bit
Yeah.
older, our generation. So these guys yeah, like maybe, in 20s, I think the people 20s, they're more high level than I think, the where we when we were in Japan.
I don't know how it's in Japan, but I'll tell you in Israel, the thing was when we left, so we had a great generation above us who taught us shit, but internet was very
Oh yeah.
slow. So you can only
Uh,
buy, you could only buy the CDs that the store is importing, or you
yeah.
have to buy them online and pay a lot of money. So you end up listening to very specific music that not you deciding.
Mm,
And now, with the high speed internet and
yeah.
everything online, people can check out so much music, and plus so many musicians are, like you said, coming back and teaching them. And I feel like when I left, the main thing that I felt was there was no finesse in the musicians. The Israeli musicians who stayed in Israel were a little bit rough. Not a lot of like, especially in jazz, the feeling of like swing, especially the swing thing, playing in changes, that these sort of things were like kind of, okay, sometimes it had a European vibe, which is not bad sometimes, but you didn't feel, when you heard somebody who came from the States, you felt like, oh, they checked out like African American music, they checked out some blues, they checked out, and they played with people who, killed them. Yeah, and now, but now I feel that it doesn't, I don't know, as time goes by, I feel that these days style is not a thing. It doesn't really matter where you're at, because people can make incredible music from home. Check out Jacob Collier, but also, but I think what matters is that if you go and you experience like a cultural difference, like living in a different country with people who don't speak your language, tasting some crazy food, not knowing where, like not finding yourself needing to, you're all alone in the world sort of feeling. This is kind of what I feel still stays, I don't know. What are your thoughts about it? You agree, disagree?
I totally agree. I mean, the internet changes so many things in good way and in bad way. Definitely these younger generation, internet generations people are, not only the music scene. I think any kind of industry, because the level went so high because you can get any information from the internet. But the thing is, I think having the real experience, like you said, is you can't substitute with internet at all, because I mean, I still like, when I listening same kind of music in the internet through the kind of like speaker or headphone, and like through the real, the real situation, it's different, totally different. Only the music, but and you can imagine like living there, having the food and friends and different peoples and all these things. It's really important, to create whatever you do. So this one, it's absolutely, I agree.
I think what you said about feeling the music like next to you, then the difference between that and listening to music, I think this is what is the hardest for me in the COVID shit.
Oh,
it's like, all those live shows, whatever, and I do them as well, but it's such a different thing. Like even, putting the effort, even as an audience, it's like putting the effort, going out, taking a babysitter, I don't know, parking the car, asking for wine, dressing up nice, putting some perfume on, and then sitting and waiting and getting like, it's a ritual thing. It's like, it's like people are gathering to witness something that's spiritual and that's moving. And I don't know. And when you consume it the same way that you consume your news and consume your gossip and consume your junk, it's like, it's kind of, I don't like to say, I don't like to be like, an angry, dark vibe. I don't like it, but it's kind of degrading, it's like putting something that's a celebration and something that's special, putting it in a daily thing, It's like, all right, great. You can shower and put on nice clothes and sit in front of your TV, turn on good speakers and enjoy music. But it's a whole different story than watching it live. And, I have a feeling about this whole shit or situation that mankind needs these interactions. It's like, it's crucial for us. if you take it away from us, it's like we're no different than, I mean, if you take it away from us, so you probably take one of the few things that we do right. You know, it's like gathering and doing shit together. Either 40,000 people or 400 people. And I feel like this has to come back. I mean, it's a natural thing.
Definitely. I mean, you know, like I saw, I mean, many of us, the beginning of the, you know, COVID lockdown, and, you know, I think in the beginning, people still had, like, you know, kind of, and they had a motivation to work on something during this time. Okay, you know, now's the time to share. Or now the time to, you know, whatever, you know, we have time. Okay, great. I was that too, you know. So people think, oh shit, you know, when this is over, so many killing people come in, or, you know, so many people like bring some new music, you know. But then, wait a minute, you know, because I think the people saw this is gonna be like a half marathon, or not even like a quarter marathon. But now I realize, oh shit, this is longer than half marathon, or probably like
this is ultra marathon.
You know, it's like exactly. So like then recently, you know, things start open some business and some like you know, I had some gigs, you know, playing with the real people and recording session, whatever, you know. So I was, you know, I was practicing home. Okay, probably when I get back to the play music with the people, I should be fine. But it wasn't. I wasn't actually. I kind of felt. I mean, I think everybody felt the same way. But I realized, definitely, I need to play constantly. I need to play music with the people first of all. And definitely I need to make a music with people constantly, because these things you can't really like, because, you know, you have gig this month, just one gig or two gigs, you know, play with people. Okay, you prepare, okay, practice, and you show up, but it's just like I realized I lost something, kind of like you know, like a quick response or communication to the people.
Yeah.
Or not even chop. I mean, I'm not talking about the chops. It's just like some kind of like a, you know, like a deeper, more like a coming from you, like a, you know, the spiritual things. You know, it's strange. You know, it's like, and then I cannot develop if these things going on just like one gig or two gigs in a month or something like that. I can't develop this shit. You know, I didn't even realize when I was on the tour all the time or playing it, you know, so many different things every day. I didn't realize. So it was like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, it's also so funny because everybody is in the same boat.
Yeah, right.
I think maybe some super natural musicians are not experiencing that, but what you just described is exactly what happened to me. I was fighting for it in March and April. I was fighting, man. I fought every day to find the time to share and think about new music and do like, and get it. And then I realized, wait, what am I getting? It's like, who's getting it?
Put the output, right?
Where's the out? Yeah, right. Where's the output? And the price for doing that on doing lockdown? I don't know. People listening to this probably, you know, some of them, you need to practice and everybody's in lockdown, so you bother your neighbors or your family, and it's like everybody's pissed, no work, no money. It's like it's like a hot pot boiling shit, and so, you know, it's like, okay, so everybody's like, yeah, let's do it. March, April, but then you realize, wait, it's not going anywhere. And I think the wave is so big that it kind of humbles everybody, you know. It's like, chillax, everybody relax. You're not going anywhere. Nothing's happening. I don't know. It has nothing to do with if you think it's a conspiracy or not. It's just what it is. It's like, there's no music right now. It is what it is, and you screwed just like everybody else. And then you know, I see people who are creating, but also I don't see, it's like when I think to myself, you are a loser, you're not doing anything this time. It's like, why don't you put out new music, do more. And then I look around and I'm like, wait, but all of my friends are at the same place and not so many people are putting out some new music. It's like everybody's struggling mentally, because that's again what I feel. It's like, you know, back in the days, I think musicians we were like this, you know, we were the shamans or the you know, the MC of the ceremony. You know, we used to do like the music for the trance dancing, and people would get high and dance, and we would provide that, and then we would go home. We would be happy providing our thing, and they would be happy going into trance. And now it's like, well, I'll sit home and I'll make some music, and I won't have any feeling of the output and receiving back from the audience. Right. And it's like this whole chain it got disconnected. And I feel like right now the best thing to do is just like, you know, this is what I'm doing. I'm more preparing myself mentally and physically, you know. I'm like trying to relax, trying to spend time with my family, working out, kind of getting my thoughts together, doing this podcast. I'm really, I can't, whenever I push on the music button and I, you know, even in September, we had like, also like in New York, we had a couple of weeks of activity and we booked tons of shit. I was like, yeah, let's do it. And by the time, I mean, we had one show and then everything was canceled. It was like, so the energy is like, maybe it's better off than, I mean, maybe it's better idea that instead of being anxious and waiting and pushing everything against this huge wave that's much bigger than you, maybe just relax, take the time, and when things get back, just get back with it. I don't know, I fall with it all the time, but still I'm trying, you know.
Yeah, man, like this is, I'm with you. Like, you know, I don't see the goal yet. We don't see goal yet, you know. So we can't really like push too hard, or we can't run too fast because, you know, we don't have energy, and we don't know how long is to the goal yet. So we just need to really, you know, the chill and relax, and you know, it's like a long marathon, you know. Yeah, that's what I felt too. Yeah. It's tough, man.
Tricky time.
Definitely.
Let's go back to positive shit.
Yeah.
So you in Berkeley and you study with Jamie, right?
Yeah.
You meet Jamie, Jamie Haddad.
Yeah, my mentor.
Incredible spirit and crazy musician. And I must say, he's one of the best examples for an all-around musician. I remember, first of all, I remember the first time I met Jamie, I was like, what's this shit? I remember it was just like it's just hanging hard. He was hanging hard, and I thought, man, I'm paying. It's like, what is it? It's super expensive here. He can't hang hard. I need to get something from him. It's like, you know how much the rent is, man. Give me something. Yeah, and he was hanging hard, and he was vibing me for not hanging hard.
Really?
Yeah, a guy introduced me to him, and I was all anxious, and then it's like we met, and it wasn't it for me. Because I wanted somebody to give me knowledge. I didn't want any experience or spirit. I wanted, give me this, give me this.
Yeah.
And it was hang. And then, but then, man, when I let go of that and I found out about him and his music and the whole thing, you know, the Paul Simon thing, switching to Dave Liebman Quartet. Dave Liebman Quartet switching to Paul Simon. It's like, man, 180 degrees, and
you're right, totally.
Incredible capabilities and humility and spirit, you know, like you know, it's like an anxious I'm sorry, it's like an old olive tree, you know, like 400 years old guy. Then I got him, man, and then I got him big, and it was like a life-changing thing. So you got him from the get-go. You had a good time together.
Man, yeah. so it was funny. So for I think in the first semester I was looking one of some classes I think, and I lost it. One of the building in the basement. I think it was 1140, and somehow I ended up Jamie's room. Bunch of people were sitting in super dark room, and oh shit, what's going on? But this looks like a percussion class. So and I my English was terrible at the time. I mean, still, but really, I mean, fucking terrible. And so I was, first semester I sit in, and it was like maybe 20 other people were holding frame drums. So now we were waiting, and then Jamie walked into the room, and he even like put darker the room, and everybody starts singing the same shit, which I had no idea what they were singing. And then what is this, and why everybody knows this, I don't know. What is this. And then after that, everybody playing same stuff and then on a frame drum, and then Jamie looked at me because he noticed I'm in the wrong place. And, so, and he was like, this is the frame drum class and advanced frame drum class, and have you take one, like frame drum one? And I was like, no. And then, so to take this class, you have to take first one, yeah. And so and I think he told me take the beginning frame drum class and come back, and yeah, he told me something like that. But it was like I think even that short of an amount of time, I kind of shocked because he walked in the room, and I think he played something, before we singing. He played something, and he was using loop pedals, whatever, and he started playing some music, which he was playing, he was on it, and then the people start singing and playing. So I was like, oh shit, what is this? This kind of sounds really amazing. I never heard the kind of vibe and percussions and frame drums and this guy, So what is this guy, So then I kind of researched his class, and then I think the first semester I didn't study with Jamie, I had nothing, and I know nothing, so I kind of studied Afro-Cuban percussion with other guys. Then I think after 2 semesters, I finally registered as Jamie's one of percussion class. Then I start hanging with him, but I think it was there's one we kind of like the moment we changed, we get more close. That was like right after I came back from Brazil. Because I spent Brazil for 3 months. I took my summer semester off right before my last semester, and I came back in September. Then I went back to Jamie's private lesson, and he was like, okay, so show me what you got, So I showed, whatever I mean, everything I studied in Brazil, and he was really kind of like interesting, and he's the kind of guy, that he's hungry for anything, and when he sees some younger students or anybody that has great thing that he doesn't have it, he take best part of it, so he always like, that's a good thing, he's like, okay, whoa, what is that? I don't know, to show me that, the kind of thing, the kind of vibe. So we kind of like start more hanging. Then one of the private lesson, he walked in, he forgot my private lesson, and then he came, oh sorry, I forgot about, I had to go to the NEC, and I'll be back in 2 hours, so you can use my room, and then I think he showed one of the Lee Morgan's the live album from the Lightning House, and what's it, the tune called the Beehive.
Mm-hmm.
And he showed the kind of whole intro and first hat, and Mickey Roca was on the drums. It was kind of cool, shit. And somehow I don't know why he played that tune, but like you know this tune, and I didn't know that, but it was cool. And so I'll be back, in 2 hours, and and he didn't say, just practice or this or whatever, but I kind of wanted to impress him. So I transcribed everything in the 2 hours, whole thing,
Oh shit!
like intro and the whole head that like Mickey Rocco was doing, and then it was like a fast swing thing, but it was like a whole shit. So I was shit, until he came back to the room, and then he came back. Oh, you're still here. Yeah, and then I actually practiced. I kind of practiced the beehive, and then play for him. I pray for him, and he was just he kind of shocked. I was like, what the fuck.
Wow, man.
So then, so that the last semester we kind of get really close, and after that he was like one of the other day he came back the private lesson. He was just like, "Hey Keita, I got gig for you," and like,
Wow.
and he was exactly. So I got a gig for you, and it was like a November or something like that, and then the gig was in December. And I got a gig for you with Yo-Yo Ma and Boston Symphony Orchestra. And I was like,
Man, I remember we met
yeah,
in Boston. I remember that story. My
yeah. So I
God.
was, So he was like, okay, and then kind of embarrassing, but like at the moment, I didn't know who the Yo-Yo Ma was. You know, really embarrassing. But I mean, I know Yo-Yo Ma, famous, classical player, but I didn't know really who he was.
Maybe it's better. It's better that you didn't know.
Exactly. So then like okay, and he said like so yeah, 3 days, 3 days and concerts with Boston Symphony and Yo-Yo Ma. This is like a cello concerto, and a friend of mine, Osvaldo Golijov, he's one of like a top contemporary classical composer. So he's a piece. So we're going to play, and I think that gig was like originally two percussion players, and then Jamie, and another percussion player, the Ciro Batista, who's a
Oh, yeah, of course.
Brazilian top percussion player, like a Jamie's generations, and Ciro couldn't do it, so Jamie recommend me on that gig, and he just asked me to do it. So that was like first, my big gig in the States, actually. Then but I didn't know what was what was the deal is. I mean, it was huge, but I didn't know. Okay, Boston Symphony Orchestra. That's well, cool, nice. So
How far in advance do you get the gig?
1 month.
How much?
1 month.
1 month. Wow.
Yeah, and So, but the one more like so that was like a 4 movements and a half an hour piece, and a third movement that was like a cadenza, which is like two percussion and accordion, like a accordion and cello. So just four of us play, no orchestra. The third movement, and that section, the one point, he wanted me to play the pandeiro, which is a Brazilian tambourine, and then the tempo he wanted to. That the tempo was actually really fast, and I wasn't able to play that tempo actually. At the time when he asked me, he thought I could, but I didn't. I didn't say I couldn't. I can't play. Oh yeah, I got it.
I got
and
it.
I shared the months like to get to reach that tempo, until the gig.
My
So
God.
yeah, but it was kind of That's then we did the shows with Yo-Yo and Boston Symphony, and actually I got kind of spot after that. I think so we kind of started playing this piece different places around the states, and we did also in Hong Kong, Switzerland. So over.
You kind of got the gig, right? Or you
Yeah,
subbed?
yeah. I kind of
Okay.
got gigs. So I mean, it was like we kind of rotating. Whoever not at least like we need the two percussion. So sometimes like a different combination, me, Zero, or sometimes like sometimes Jamie and Ciro does, but like sometimes me, Ciro, sometimes Jamie and me. But most of the time, I think me and Jamie did it together many times. Together like like maybe 5 6 years. Yeah.
Man, what does it feel like finding yourself sitting on a stage? You're like 20 something,
Yeah.
sitting
Right.
in the front of a stage, Boston Symphony Orchestra, Yo-Yo Ma, and it's like,
Man, that was stupid. I was so stupid, man. I was stupid, but also no fear, man. Because
no fear.
yeah, no, yeah. I think I was young enough to just like to do whatever I wanted, and without fear. Because also the no fear because I didn't know who the Yo-Yo Ma was at the time. I mean, if I knew it, he's probably I might get nervous, but I never
Yeah.
got nervous. But only thing I got nervous was like playing with conductor because I never played with conductor before, and I never play at the classical venue or orchestra. So that was everything was like a first experience. But it was great.
And then you find throughout that, I mean, during that time, you also moved to New York. You graduate
Yeah.
Berkeley, you moved to New York,
Mm-hmm.
and then what's happening when you're in New York?
So when I was in New York, I think the first 6 months I was kind of more in and out tours and stuff. Also include this yo-yo gig and some other stuff.
Man, did you do the yo-yo gig with the Shanir, the bass player? It was the
No,
Silk Road?
no, that's a Silk Road. No, I never done a Silk Road one actually.
Okay.
Yeah. But but the Shania, he's a man. He's a good man.
You know Shanir? Oh man, wow,
I
what a
met him
musician.
because I met him because like one time Ciro invited me to his house and play with one of his group with Shania and what's it called, Banquet of Spirits.
What a crazy group, man.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so you moved to New York and you do this gig and
I moved to New York and some other older friends was already in New York, so I reached out and I started show up some jam session in the Brooklyn and in Manhattan, or jam at the somebody's studios, trying to hang, to as much as possible, I think. And but I still didn't have a gig in New York much, because I mean that's everybody kind of the beginning. So also I kind of go back and forth to Boston every week because I still had the more local Boston gig,
Mhm.
and so I was doing that kind of stuff, and I think I think then after that, Jamie introduced me to one of the trumpet player, Dominic Farinach. He's a good friend of mine. He's a jazz trumpet player. Yeah, and Dominic, he was looking for the percussion player. So so I kind of joined his band as a percussion player, and I think at that moment, his band member was I think drummer was Carmen Intor. He's the drummer of Joey DeFrancisco and Pat Martino's, and I mean all the Juilliard cats, and Yasushi, the bass Yasushi Nakamura, and also piano was Adam Bamburn, and and I met those guys, and I actually through the Dominic, because he has lots of people like a jazz scene, like a more kind of more Juilliard, jazz
Yeah.
people. But through Dominic's gig, and I, you know, I started meeting more people, these scenes people, and which was great. And also because I play drums and always play with a good drummer, in New York, and so I always kind of free lessons in when I play together. That's a good good part of being a percussion player, and if you play drums, that I always play. yeah, I kind of steal whatever from the drum I play,
Man, what is it like? Why is it that all percussion players I know are nice? It's a thing, man. I don't know. It's
Really?
not all bassists I played with were nice, and trumpet players not at all, and trombone players whatever. But saxophonist, okay, pianist, you have some and some. Man, I know so many percussion players, and all of them are super nice. But it's not only like nice. I mean, I want to ask you because I feel like there are two reasons, and I don't know which one is more. I mean, first of all, the fact that you are killing musicians is you have to be a killing musician to get these gigs. There's no question about it. Jamie would never recommend you if he didn't feel that you had the spirit and the right skills, and that's for sure. But also, like, I'm wondering, man, you have such a great vibe. Whenever I met with you and whenever we played, was like, it's like you kind of try to bond with the people and the music and kind of it's something to do with the instrument because when you play you can choose the maracas or the frame drum or whatever, and you kind of there's no I mean sometimes there are parts that you need to play a specific instrument, but it's like you can pick whatever you want. I remember when we played with Chagai, it was like whatever, man, take the cymbal, play the cajon, do whatever. It's like just give the right vibe. And I don't know, something about it feels like, because I know you, I know Marcelo, I know Itamar Doari, I know a few other people. They're all great guys, and it's like everybody who works with you, it's like, yeah, just come back again. So I don't know, it's something that you think about it, you say, I want to be the best person in the room, I want to blend the most, or it's just natural?
I don't, man, I mean, I get asked like a similar questions before, but I totally agree. So many like percussion players really, the good personality and really fun to hang. But I think the reason is um, because I really learn so much from the great example like Jamie or Ciro, you know, and then also I even got to tour together with Jamie and those older guys, which is the best experience because um you know I if you're young and you don't have experience, you have no clue how to deal with the people or how to but Jamie is such a like, I mean, he's the best. Like every time I go hang, he just grab the people like spiritually. Like he's like him. So
Yeah.
I really learned so much like how to kind of communicate with the people and then make good vibe and all those thing. And I think naturally I took best part of the whatever that I see the Jamies or other guys does, and trying to, because I don't want it to. I mean, if you make music with somebody, or if you go on a tour or long tour, I mean, everybody gets tired. I mean, same shit. But like, you don't want to make bad move, and if you make a bad move, you can't really make good music, because I just don't want to make everybody uncomfortable, you know, and I just want to be, I would be like happy most of the time, and I just wanted to make a best situation when I make a music. So that's why I guess I'm trying all those stuff makes, I don't know, personality, whatever. You get it?
Yeah, man,
You know?
that's right on.
Yeah.
So you in New York a few years, and then how do you get into? Let's talk about Snarky Puppy now.
Yeah. So yeah. So after that, I think it was like maybe 1 or 2 years later. I met Mike Lee, which is Snarky's band leader, and I met Mike. Also, this is through Jamie. It's always Jamie's man. It's so interesting, man. He always there somehow, and and then also I was on a tour with Dominic, trumpet player, and then it was his hometown. Dominic is from Cleveland, Ohio, and also Jamie is Cleveland, Ohio. And I was in Cleveland at the moment, and Jamie calls me, "Hey man, you in town, right?" And yeah, and I'm in a studio and making the album for the guy from the local guy, singer songwriter, and I met this bass player from Texas, and he's a cool guy, and he has a band. He's moving to New York soon, so why don't you come? Why don't you come and play? Pandera. Bring your pandera and then play for me one tune. So he just invited me to the studio.
And it's like from now to now. It's just come now.
Exactly. Then it's funny, man. Then so I went to the studio, and so then I met Mike and Jesse Barnes. He's a singer songwriter, great and singer songwriter from Cleveland. So then I played one tune in Pandero, and I started talking with Michael, and he told me he introduced his band. He has a band, the Snarky Puppy. He just finished the record. He recorded Tell Your Friends album and the live studio albums, and he said some of the member already in New York. I'm thinking moving to New York, and okay. Then so we're like, oh yeah, I'm in New York. When you come to New York, we should play together, and then just hit me up, So then after that, he moved to New York. I think it was 2009 or 10, and then we kind of start playing, like a wedding gigs and whatever, small gigs. We kind of start hanging, and also he was from beginning he was kind of producing all the singer songwriters, So he asked me to play percussion, whatever he has a project, So we kind of start working kind of close and all the time. And then slowly he asked me to play his band, Snarky's gig, the gig in the East Coast area, New York, and because the original percussion player Nate was still in Texas, I think. He was in New York. So yeah, I started playing Snarky, I think around 2010, and I joined the album ground up. I think it was 2011 or 12 they released, I guess. Yeah, then then since then I got play with Snarky, but it's kind of cool thing is we have a new band which called Bokanté, and includes Jamie, and me play together in a band, and then Mike Lee is also he started this band, so Bokanté, and then the first time he told me about this project, it was like maybe I don't know 4 or 5 years ago, and then hey man, I'm thinking to start a new band, and me and you and Jamie. And I was like, oh shit, that's cool. So now we have a band together. It's so strange, but it's really fun, and
you have a singer there as well, right?
There's a singer Malika Chiroyan. Yeah, she lives in Montreal. She's from Guadeloupe Island. And
yeah, man, I heard that band killing shit.
Yeah,
wow,
it's really great band. I love it. I love this band.
Man, a few questions about working with Snarky Puppy.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that I remember hearing about them right when I came to Israel, and I heard of them actually not from Israeli people, but from my friends back in New York. That's like, check it out, things are happening, and then I read some interviews, and I did my research. I had a little bit more time, free time, and what resonates with me the most about this band are a few things. First, it's a very collegial band. So it's like, if you're in it, I mean, the people who are in it, some of them are from the beginning, and it's like, it's based on, first of all, of course, always the music, but also friendship, which
Yeah.
is something super cool. It's not like a mercenary thing that,
Right.
well, Keita is not good enough anymore. Let's throw him out and take a different percussion player.
Dumpster.
Yeah, it's not like that. It's if you hang with us for long enough, so we'll hang with you, and I feel like that's an important thing and an important message in the music. It's like
Mhm.
it used to be a very common thing in the 80s to get all the especially in jazz. There was a time, 70s, 80s, when pop music was selling, that they used to hire jazz musicians, and it's like, let's take let's take Michael Brecker, saxophone
Yeah,
player,
yeah,
for all
yeah.
the albums. Let's have him play with Paul Simon and Whitney
Right, right.
Houston and Herbie Hancock, and it's like, he's the guy. Nobody has work, only Michael Brecker.
Right,
and
right, right, right.
and it's like, but these days, something, I mean, it's great. It used to be a great time and they produced great music, but
Right.
something changed. And we kind of, I think like jazz took a lot from rock and indie. And it's like, let's form a band and stick together and make some music that sounds like its own thing,
Mhm.
rather than let's make a funk group. Because Snarky Puppy doesn't sound like a funk group. It doesn't sound like Whitney Houston or Mariah Carey. It sounds like
Yeah.
Snarky Puppy. And
Mhm.
and another proof of that is that, I don't know, maybe you confirm it to me, that I know everybody in the band needs to know all the music. It's
Mhm.
like, you need to
That's true.
know everything. You need to switch. If you can play another instrument, you need to be able to switch an instrument. So it's like, it's a family. Everybody
Mhm.
needs to know each other's parts and each other parts.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
so yeah, maybe talk about it a little bit. What I said.
Yeah. So I think the Mike Lee, he's I mean, he's really something special. I gotta say, um, because uh, the way he create whole scenes, when he moved to New York, and it was like, I feel like uh, he always bring cool people, in a scene and family, and the way he does is like, you know, just like a making connect. It's not a making connection. He's just like expanding a family, you know. So he's super smart, and I remember there's like the music venue called the Rockwood Music Hall in Lower East Side, and Snarky started the one of the series called the Family Dinner, and the idea is bringing Snarky plays somebody's music, and the beginning was like, he just, for example, he invite like Arihonic, you know, so, and we just Snarky play Arihonic's music without rehearsal, you know.
Wow.
Exactly, yeah. And it just like there's like a share folder, in the bandmates. And okay, so next family dinner we have three guests, and this is the music, two songs each, just check it out. And then we show up and play.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like that. But but that was like, I think that was beginning, and he invites so many
Oof.
great singer songwriter, or John Ellis, or all those people, you know. So we kind of start, making big family, and that becomes like whole scenes, and it was really smart, the way he does, because everybody can work together, and feel like then he started like the label, the ground up label, and it's so many whoever works together, I feel like we feel like kind of family. It's not just friends, or it's like feel like because we kind of connected really deep. I think so many musicians, and I have no idea how he can I mean he can do all those different things same times and so many different things, and he used to do before, I think before the first Grammy, he used to do tour managers and driving and booking the hotels and taking care of the bandmates and everything, and then producing the albums, other singer songwriters, and
Oh wow.
I mean it's insane work, amount of the work he was doing, but but I remember the beginning New York life, his New York life. We were just hanging, and he just said like, you know, I always thinking like 10 years from now, 10 years, I don't want to play, I just want to play my music in a 10 years, and I don't want to play random bar restaurant gig, still in 10 years. So that's what I'm doing that right now, I'm like thinking about 10 years, and then he did it, I mean, so I was like, shit, I really admire him, and I mean, and I'm so glad I can call him my friends, and it's a kind of interesting connections, like through Jamie and Mike and other people work, great people in New York. It's kind of interesting, the timing, meet,
It's also funny. It's funny how sometimes you try to think rational. You use your brain and you say, "Let's start a group. It's going to be a trio or a duo." It was like, no, let's do a huge band. Let's do a 15, 13, 12, whatever it takes band. And it's going to tour worldwide. And it's like, man, that makes no sense. You're out of your mind.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I guess when you use the right things, it's like nothing is crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, wow, man, that's insane. That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
And also the friendship. I was talking about friendship, like everybody. I mean, trust. I mean, I trust Mike Lee. Whatever he does, I trust him. Because that's because he's done so many things. I've seen him really doing great. I'm also like, so that's why I can trust him. Whatever he says, like, okay, yeah, do it. Let's do it.
Plus,
And
you kind of like bungee jumping. It's like, I don't know what you told me about family dinner is like, all right, so we're all getting together and it might be the worst evening ever. But if you do it one time and you don't fuck it up, so it's like, okay, I can trust Keita. I don't know. It's like, it's insane, man. That's so
I know.
beautiful.
But yeah, this is like all. This band is all trust, man. Like the Snarky Puppy people, like we all trust each other, and I mean, everybody went been through so many kind of bad thing, good thing together, and on the road. And also like this friendship creates uh from the being on the road all the time, like spending every day together, so I mean, none of I don't know any bands like that kind had the kind of experience like around my other friends, because this is kind of insane amount of time we spend together, so yeah, yeah, man,
What makes
and
you, what made you decide to stay? I mean, so you had things going on. Again, Yo-Yo Ma orchestras, you had, you had some nice gigs, and
yeah.
then you start doing some wedding gigs with this bass player from Texas. It's like, what makes you say, I'll stay? I mean, you could have been a snob and say, fuck that shit, I don't need it, or
uh,
I'll do some jazz gigs. I don't know. I don't know.
right.
I'm,
I mean that it's never been that the snobby vibe. It's never been like my vibe. I mean,
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
you don't,
also,
you can't say yes to all the gigs. You have to choose. I mean, you
right,
were
right, right.
busy.
I mean, but you know, I mean, I was hungry for anything, you know, because you know, that's the reason I moved to New York is like I want to grow up, you know, I want to be better musicians. You know, I want to play the music, you know. So even like a wedding gig is, you know, it's I mean, you know, wedding gig is kind of tricky because when you playing wedding gig and with somebody you really trust or somebody you really like it's fun, you know. Or you know, if you show up wedding gig and you know nobody, you don't know anybody, and then like you know everybody vibing you, and like who is this motherfucker, you know? And it's like fuck, you know, whatever, you know. Yeah, I mean all those kind of different experience, but like I mean I just like you know I just wanted to play as much as possible because that was you know I was a single, I didn't have family, and I was still, you know, I wasn't. I mean, I had a nice gig, but you know, I mean, it was not enough for sure. It was just like a beginning of my career, you know. I just had a luck. I was lucky, you know, at the moment. So, and I knew, I don't know anything about, you know, at the time. So I was really hungry to take anything, any good things around, you know, be around myself and in New York and you know anybody. So
What about those pigs? The gig with the pigs.
you know the pigs.
Man, who doesn't know the pigs?
Oh man, that
How
shit
did you
really.
come up with that? I mean, I know you, so I
Well,
can think how you came up with it, but how did it get approved?
okay. So yeah, this is like a actually this pig thing. Originally, the guy Hermeto Pascoal, he's a fucking you know the Brazilian insane genius composer, multi instrumentalist. So Hermeto used to actually use the real animal back in the day. I don't know if you know. So he one of I forgot the album's name, but he has some albums that he brought the real animals to make a sound in the albums in the studio, and he used to travel with a real animal too. And I it's funny article I read in Japanese in Japan. Man, like I brought my pig, and these Japanese people ate my pig after the show. So I was like, what? No, this is not true. I was like, you just fuck it, you know, just fucking up. But like he used to use these animals, and you know, after that, I guess like it's difficult to, you know, become difficult to use the real animals in the shows and shit stuff. So I guess he started using those like you know the rubber pigs and the other chickens and the other animals, you know. So then like it became kind of thing in Brazil, uh, especially percussion players. I've seen like many percussion players using, you know, the Brazilian percussion player use that stuff. And I play one festival with you know Magda.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know. So I was in Canary Island in Spain. There's a festival with Magda's band, and Hermeto was playing night before we play. So we actually went to see his show, and his son was a percussion player. His son's a percussion player, so his son was playing pigs during the show. You know. So all the band member Andres, you know, Andres and Nacho and Magda was there, and everybody got really, you know, had fun watching the, you know, the those rubber pigs, you know. And when we back to the states and we were driving somewhere in the states, and we stopped gas station, and Andres came back with a pig because he found a rubber pig at the gas station. So he bought it and he gave it to me. You know, here we
As a
go.
joke.
As a joke, exactly, as a joke. And he gave it to me, so I was like, okay. So you know, from that day, I started using, you know, the pig during the show with Magda's band, you know. And it was, I mean, of course, you know, people like stupid things, so you know, it was kind of hit. Everybody like it, you know. So I kind of started correcting other pigs, different pitches, So then I started playing like 3, 4 pigs together and kind of develop my own pig technique. So I kind of getting better playing the pigs. Then then I had another gig. I started playing this incredible bass guitar player Charlie Hunter, and he. So I start tour with Charlie and trio, me and Charlie and Lucy Woodward, singer, and Charlie loved the pig. So he kind of like gave me some moment to play the pigs on a stage every shows,
Wow.
and and those audience, never seen this kind of stuff. So everybody was going crazy.
Wow.
And I think one of the rehearsal sound check video during the tour, I think I was playing drum set, and Charlie was kind of messing around the pigs, and he put on his Facebook video, his Facebook page. It got like 6 million views, or it went crazy, and those video spread out so fast, and so many people watched it, and that becomes like fucking insanely like famous, whatever, the pigs thing. So every time, like whatever, Instagram, Facebook, people see either chicken or pigs, they tag me. So annoying. Okay.
Wait, you still do it? You still do it, or you kind of stopped for a while?
I sometimes I did it like during a COVID. I mean, Doctor Charlie sent me one of the video, so I overdub video, like a collaboration thing. I put the pigs, and also actually, I just released my sample pack from the Sprice, the website, and I actually also.
What is that? What is that?
So the sample pack is like basically I have so many instruments,
Jesus Christ.
and this is one of them. But like I have so much instruments, so a friend of mine, he asked me to do sample pack, which is I just like a sample all my sounds, the one shots and different sounds, each instrument, and also I make loops. So all the producers who or
So that's it. It's like a plugin, sort of. You can just.
It's kind of like loop, and also one shot. You can use it, like
Wow.
rights free,
Wow.
Yeah, so so I made like a sample pack and just released the last month, and then volume 2 is coming up. I think this week or next week. So include pigs. So I sample my pigs too. So there's like a pig loops and pig one hit. So everybody can play the pigs, with the pads or whatever.
And it's so funny, so much that I love it. I love this conversation because you can take from it. There's a lot of humor. There's also a lot of luck. But there's also like tons of hard work, man. It's incredible. And I used to, I don't remember, but I heard many people say all you need is like one good connection, like one really somebody who really trusts you and can help you. I'm not talking about success. It can be, it can be the woman of your life, meeting her and she saves your life, or it can be, I don't know, it can be whatever. But it sounds like, with your story, it's like there's very few people that you met along the way that kind of helped shaped everything. I mean, I'm sure you would have a beautiful life even without knowing them, but still, it's like, it's incredible how you keep bringing Jamie up and and it's so beautiful.
Yeah, Jamie is the key of my life, because I have no idea what I'm doing right now if I didn't meet Jamie, because I think definitely like it changed my life. I met him, and I got to study with him.
Yeah. Man, what do you have to say for someone who wants to be like you, or wants to be a musician, or wants to do wants to make the journey from far away to wherever, or want to make it, want to do what you're
Yeah,
doing.
I mean, I will say, trust yourself. Whatever you wanna do, just do it. Don't think too much. If Especially if you're young, and also, you know, uh, do best as you could every time you do, and it leads to some way, you know, better place for sure, or better person to connect. That's for sure. So just keep doing, hard. That's for sure. Yeah, and then make good
Kate,
friends too.
yeah, man, you're an inspiration. I'm so happy we got to do this.
Oh man, thank you, Matan, man.
I hope we'll meet in person soon.
Oh man, I miss you, bro.
Keita, thanks, man.
Well,
Take
my
it
pleasure,
easy.
man.
We'll be in
Thank you
touch.
so
Bye,
much,
brother.
man. Thank you,
Bye
bro.
bye.
Bye bye.